points. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's Ryan's Falcons going up against Roethlisberger's Steelers. And with that, we'll send you up to the north shore of Pittsburgh and Heinz Field by the Three Rivers as we headed over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Play fake here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
On second down, Roethlisberger. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the 2. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. Now Roethlisberger down around his goal line. It's complete to Brown, right side. Brown finishing 2016 with over 1,200 yards, 106 receptions. Now for him, you know, people were expecting maybe some bigger numbers, Charles. What did you make of Antonio Brown's season?
Well, what I made of it is that he started to get more help along the way. Jesse James developed at tight end. Once Le'Veon Bell got into the lineup, he started to catch passes out of the backfield and ate up a few numbers as well. So Big Ben had more targets to throw it to. That should help Antonio Brown going forward in 2017 because he'll still be the primary guy. But when you get help, boy, you can make bigger plays downfield.
Design run for their wideout. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle. And here's the offense today that hopes to get off to a strong start. Second down following the run. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. This one complete to Mohamed Sanu. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
And Brandon, I think Mohamed Sanu had a nice career while he was in Cincinnati, but he really elevated in 2016 in Atlanta. The most catches for himself in a single season.
59 of them, 4 touchdowns. Really a nice compliment to Julio Jones, and he was a nice compliment in Cincinnati. I don't want to say he's not a number 1 receiver, but he plays that number 2 slot well, doesn't he?
He does, and I think it's because of his versatility.
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, 53 yards. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. Got a man. It's Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? They go play action here on first down. And Green with a catch left side. And he'll be taken out, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the deep. Defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Now Roethlisberger on first down. Out left here, it's complete to Wheaton. And he's brought down. It's a gain of 14 there. And that'll be good for a Pittsburgh first.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag. Because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. Carry for the former Michigan State man, Le'Veon Bell. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. On second down, Roethlisberger. And it's caught over the middle by the tight end Green. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Here's a look at the young Atlanta Falcons, although next year, obviously, everyone will be a year older. So rookies like Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, Devondre Campbell, an extra year, well, their only year, but a year under their belt now to get better.
They're just young and growing, aren't they? I mean, I expect their play to continue to accelerate and elevate. And think about the building blocks they had in front of them. Second-year guys in 2016 who had big years. Grady Jarrett, a monster in the Super Bowl, tied a sack record in that game against New England. And Vic Beasley led the NFL in sacks for the regular season with 15.5 and also had 6 forced fumbles.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Watch left. Tight end to the left. Tight end left. Hey, left fire. We got four. We got four down. Four down.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. That is caught at the 7. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. And now the passing game here in the 2nd quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Partner, we're into the 2nd quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both.
And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. They'll try again with Bell. And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3. In 12 regular season games this last year for Bell, averaging over 150 yards from scrimmage. First 2 games in the playoffs were great, but, you know, getting injured in the final game probably leaves a bad taste in his mouth.
Leaves a bad taste, gives him fuel for the next season, though, because remember, for the last few years, he hasn't been able to play a full season for various reasons. Now, going into next year, imagine those numbers over a 16-game season and heading into the playoffs. Le'Veon Bell can set new records.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
Man, it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that.
And when you watch Devontae Freeman run the football, you can almost close your eyes and hear him running the football, can't you? Because people just scatter. I mean, you know, when he goes through a pile, it moves in a positive direction for him. I just love how hard he plays the game.
1,000-yard season. He had 11 touchdowns last year. In March, 25 years old. So he's kind of hitting that sweet spot for a running back, isn't he?
He really is, and I still remember the evaluation of him coming out of college. He does everything well, but you weren't sure he had a dominant trait. Well, wrong about that. He's dominant just about everything he does, and I think that he's going to continue to elevate his game and seek a 3rd Pro Bowl in 2017.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And sometimes when you're watching a game, you can actually see drills in effect during a ball game. And what I saw there was what running backs call the gauntlet drill. We have to go through a series of defenders. We're going to hit them, poke at the football, make them bounce, spin, dig.
And Freeman lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover for his squad.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And for Coleman, if you combine the rushing and receiving yards, close to 1,000 last year. He had 8 touchdowns as well. It was just really a great 1-2 combo with Devontae Freeman.
An outstanding one, and just think, if he's on just about any other NFL team, he's probably the lead running back. And Devontae Freeman gets the bulk of the carries. But Coleman, when he does get his hands on the football, he really produces in a big way, speaking of the numbers you just gave.
And now we're circling here around the 2-minute warning.
This is a setup play, trying to get one last one in before the clock warning.
Time running out here on the play clock. So an entertaining first half, and now we have hit the 2-minute warning. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. One receiver left, 2 to the right. Now they'll throw it with Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Over 1,400 yards last year for Jones. Just 6 touchdowns, but, you know, of course he had the big 300-yard game. However, when he was blanketed with coverage, he always opens things up for other guys, doesn't he?
He does, and that's what's benefited Atlanta's offense. Other guys were able to step up. In 2016, Mohamed Sanu stepped up and had his best year as a pro. Austin Hooper, as a young tight end, really developed down the stretch. And Taylor Gabriel, who had come over as a free agent from Cleveland, he really flourished, actually led the team in touchdown catches. But there's only one Julio Jones, and you want to get the ball to him as much as possible.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. You give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On second down, Ryan. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off, William Gay. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. So they bring pressure from the corner, and the corner blitz pays off.
When you make it look like man-to-man coverage and then bring the corner off the corner, big plays often result, and it sure did on that one.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
They'll come up now in the Wildcat package.
Let's go. 1, 9.
Out of the Wildcat, a wide receiver carry. Forced out to his left. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up second down. They line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. And again here, we'll see the Wildcat.
Here we go.
They'll let their receiver run it out of the Wildcat. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you termed that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. And it's complete to Jacob Tamme. They'll get 19 yards there. And it'll be first down Atlanta.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Let's see what the offense comes with here, 2nd and 8. Second down, here's Ryan. Sanu with a grab over the middle. And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. Freeman again. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. They'll need to get the play off quickly. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And a short gain here down to the 22. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. Now Ryan on 2nd down. And Tamme with it over the middle. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is. to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now this will be the 9th play on this drive. Shift together here from the D-line. Play clock winding down. From the shotgun, Ryan. Incomplete on the right side. It's Tammy. And out of bounds all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Back now in Pittsburgh. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. And this seemingly endless drive continues. They'll look to run with Freeman. He tried to break that plane but couldn't get there, and that's going to leave him now at 3rd and goal. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop him here. So now...
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Falcons will extend their lead. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
12 yards on the pickup, and it's good enough for a Pittsburgh 1st down. They're going to hurry back, and now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Second and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
So incomplete on 2nd down. Now they'll look to convert here on 3rd. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And now another one thrown incomplete. He was looking to hit his running back, Le'Veon Bell, that time. And it brings up 4th down.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
3 down, 3 down. 45 the mic, 45 the mic.
Here we go. It's Roethlisberger on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. Atlanta now.